Now, before we get into the story, I just wanted to let you guys know that I actually have a P.O. box now. I opened up a new one for myself and for Bree. So if you want to send either of us, well, really anything you want, so long as it's not illegal or a joke that's too edgy, you can find the address of the P.O. box down below. Just address it to, Cool Dude or Xycron or Big Daddy Jones or whoever you really want. Now, let me tell you a story. This one takes place a couple years ago. I believe it was the first time I visited Colorado. And this story is all about the first time I got drunk. So again, this takes place a couple years ago. I had just visited Colorado for the first time. I think it was around Bree's birthday or something like that. I can't quite remember completely. And you're gonna know why here in a second. I had never experienced it before. I was going in clean slate, so I didn't really understand how any of it worked. Now, a lot of people just start off with something simple like beers or ciders, whatever. There were no ciders. I hated the taste of beer. And then I quickly learned that although I hated the taste of the hard shit that I drank, being whiskey, that didn't really stop me after the second shot. And after said second shot is when Taylor, who was also there, Taylor and Dylan were there as well, Taylor decided we were going to make a night of it. So he made sure to keep a steady supply of whiskey shots for as long as we could go. I feel like he was trying to get me in particular to learn a lesson. And I think Bree was just kind of a bonus to whatever lesson he might have been trying to teach us. If that is indeed what he was going for. That's just my personal belief. So after about the second or third shot, as most do, especially on an empty stomach, I was starting to feel it pretty hardcore. Now, like Bree always says, I'm not really a lightweight, I'm just efficient. Especially when you haven't really had much alcohol up to that point and have never been drunk. It's kinda, a surreal experience. And then after the fifth or maybe the sixth shot, I was still feeling fun, but starting to realize that maybe this wasn't the smartest decision I could have made that evening. So I decided, alright, we'll stop here, and then have a couple of beers. And at this point, I didn't care how it tasted, just so long as it sustained that fuzzy feeling it gave me. Which again, I'm gonna keep reminding people, it was a stupid decision, and I learned from how stupid it was. Then after the beers, Taylor comes around and says, no, we're gonna keep going. Now that I go back and really think about it, maybe he wasn't trying to teach me a lesson. Maybe he was just trying to kill me. Either way, being in the mood that I was, I agreed. So we continued for a sixth, a seventh, an eighth, a ninth, and even a 10th shot. Keep in mind, this was all within the span of 2 hours. Now, I can't remember where I read this, but I believe something along the lines of 13 shots of hard liquor, something like whiskey or vodka, within a hour to 2 hour time span. 13 is enough to send you to the hospital because that's a lethal dose. I had 10. At the time, being as drunk as I was, I just wanted to keep seeing if the feeling could get crazier and crazier as I went along. It felt like the night and the fun feeling would never end, until inevitably everything started coming back up. You see, this is where my body did the right thing. Now, the first to go down was Bree. She had 9 shots. So she ran up to her bathroom and started, undoing the damage. And me, I automatically assumed, no, I'm fine. There's no way I'm gonna start puking. And then about 30 seconds after I had that thought, I went right downstairs to the basement bathroom and began to extract the deadly poison from my own body. We were throwing up. If that message wasn't clear enough. Puking all over the place. Okay, not really all over the place, but, you gotta fluff this stuff up, you know what I mean? You gotta make it seem like we went on a grand adventure. Which, I kinda went on a grand adventure of the mind. Okay, no, I didn't. I went brain dead. And then a couple hours into me throwing up and feeling like absolute crap, I was still really, really drunk, like completely fucking plastered. And I had my phone on me. So I decided I would text a few people, try to call a couple more people. I think the only person that actually picked up was Jeff. I decided to FaceTime Jeff, and I think it was like 3 a.m. or some crazy shit for him. So I feel really bad to this day. But he likes to hold over my head the fact that when I did FaceTime him, I kind of professed my love for Jeff. Not my romantic love. Oh, no. Just that he was a great friend and I just loved the shit out of him. Like, oh, Jeff, you're the best. I love you, Jeff. And then continued to throw up and stuff. And in the middle of me doing that, I believe Taylor brought me a peanut butter sandwich to help and settle my stomach. And so after a few more hours, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 in the morning by the time I was able to fall asleep and my body kind of subsided the puking, I did just that. I passed out in bed And then I woke up around 10:30, 11 a.m. in the morning. I was feeling all right, decided to take a shower. And as I get out of the shower and start drying off, it all comes back again and I start puking until 4 p.m. And that right there is why I learned my goddamn lesson. I guess like a lot of my stories, the moral of the story is don't be an idiot. I guess I would go so far as to say the moral of the story is whiskey can fuck off. As a matter of fact, you know what? All hard liquor, all hard stuff can just fucking go away. Now, of course, at the end of all this, I said or claimed like most people, oh, I'm never getting drunk again. It being my first time, of course, it was probably one of the most naive things I've ever said. But I tell you what, to this day, I have never touched whiskey again. Why? That shit's disgusting. Every time I see a bottle of whiskey, I gag a little bit. And that right there is a side effect I'm going to live with for the rest of my life. That and that one embarrassing, horrible, stupid night. A night of me being nothing but a massive idiot. And as you can tell by these stories, I like to be an idiot a lot. Or not necessarily like to be, but it's kind of beyond my control. Being stupid is something I'm rather good at. And with that, we have come to the end of today's video, folks. Always remember, if you even somewhat enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like, and if you really like the video, consider subscribing. And until the next time I get drunk enough to feel the need to tell you guys about it, I'll be seeing ya.